Are you suddenly bored at work? Would you like to take a short break for 5 to 10 minutes? Or, in the intervals between homework, an interval has arisen that you can't spend on something useful, but you also don't want to burn it completely aimlessly. Or maybe you decided to play something simple and funny with your child. In all these cases, the arcade games presented in this video will help. Pac-Man, the cult arcade game from Namco, which became a slot machine hit in the 80s, but has not lost its appeal in our time. The main character, Pac-Man, is reported to eat all the dots, Pac dots, in the maze to go to the next level. At the same time, he needs to avoid meeting with ghosts, Pinky, Blinky, Inky, Clyde, touching which takes one life. Audiosurf, a series of exciting rhythm games that can please the eyes and ears with bright neon colors and cheerful compositions. Music in Audiosurf, by the way, not only creates an atmosphere, but is also part of the gameplay. It is she who helps the player to make the right maneuvers while passing the local unusual tracks. Zuma, a popular match 3 game where you have to destroy chains of colorful balls. The problem is that the balls are constantly moving, and you need to destroy them before they reach the key point, the magic skull. Simple but addictive gameplay, several modes, funny design, all this made Zuma. Its prototype is the console game Puzz Loop, one of the best arcade games of our time, which has various variations for different platforms. Galaga, a classic arcade game brought straight from the arcades to PC. Galaga takes place on a single screen, where the player must destroy aliens and score points by moving their ship exclusively in a horizontal plane. Agar.io, multiplayer multi-platform arcade game available on mobile devices and PC. And in the latter case, you don't even need to download anything. Agar.io runs right in the browser window. Players control colored dots that eat smaller dots. The one who turns out to be faster, more agile, and larger than the others will ascend to the top of the food chain. Geometry Dash, an interesting arcade game that combines elements of a platformer, runner, and rhythm game. The player, controlling a cue continuously moving forward, must overcome numerous obstacles that unexpectedly appear on the way. In this case, any error leads to a restart of the level. The hardcore gameplay of Geometry Dash is successfully complemented by great musical accompaniment, as well as colorful environment design, a level editor, and the ability to give your geometric hero a unique look through extensive customization options. Sonic. Top arcade games are simply unthinkable without games about the supersonic Sonic the Hedgehog, which are considered on a par with Super Mario Bros. A classic among arcade platformers. Of course, Sonic is primarily associated with the Sega Mega Drive console. But thanks to Sega's multi-vector policy, today, virtually all games in the series, including spin-offs, are also available on PC in digital format. Tetris, one of the symbols of the gaming industry, which will probably never lose its relevance. Simple and ingenious at the same time, this game appeared in 1984 and has since visited almost all existing gaming platforms, while receiving a variety of visual and sometimes gameplay transformations. Gauntlet, re-release of a fun multiplayer arcade game from 1984, very popular on arcade machines of the time. Having chosen one of the 4 characters available in the Gauntlet, the player and his friends set off to clear the dungeons from various evil spirits that have settled there, along the way collecting valuable trophies and trying not to fall into one of the deadly traps generously placed across the levels. Bomberman, fun arcade games available on PC and consoles set in destructible mazes full of secrets, power-ups, and of course enemies. The latter can be destroyed with the help of bombs, which the main characters, called Bomberman, can create with their bare hands. Plants vs. Zombies, what to do if the streets of your city are filled with zombies. Of course, strengthen the defenses of your home by planting around it various types of warlike plants that can give a worthy rebuff to an unexpected enemy. So at least, the employees of PopCat Games see the zombie apocalypse, who gave the world a funny game Plants vs. Zombies. Space Invaders. Another classic on our list that arrived on PC straight from the slot machines of the 70s and 80s. The original Space Invaders appeared in 1978. Its creator is the Japanese game designer Tomohiro Nishikado. Since then, the game has gone through a lot of re-releases and received more than a dozen clones. Even today, for personal computers and mobile gadgets, there are many different versions of this exciting game that differ from each other both in design and in some nuances of the gameplay. Arkanoid. The game that won the hearts of adults and children has hundreds of different variations and feels comfortable on any gaming platform, be it a slot machine, home PC, or smartphone. All this is about Arkanoid. It first appeared in 1986, and since that moment the principle of its gameplay has remained unchanged. The player controls a horizontal platform, hitting the ball with it, which needs to destroy the blocks located at the top of the screen. Downwell. A vertical platform game with procedural level generation that takes us back to the golden age of arcade games. The protagonist is a nameless guy who recklessly jumped into the shaft of a strange well full of various monsters. And now it is rapidly falling, under the control of the player, to the very bottom, accompanying this business with a dance on the heads of monsters discouraged by such impudence and collecting crystals lying around. Metal Slug. A series of 2D arcade shooters that, together with Contra, form the golden fund of the shoot-'em-up subgenre. Like most arcade games, Metal Slug came to PC from arcades. True, this happened in a rather late period by the standards of the genre, in 1996. On the other hand, the technical capabilities of that time allowed Metal Slug to recreate incredibly detailed, for a pixel game, graphics and fill it with rich design locations, animations and effects, enemy reaction to hits and their variety, great bosses. Even today, all this leads a great impression. Also, during the battles in Metal Slug, the player can use the equipment available at the levels, pick up more powerful weapons, or receive them as a gift from rescued captives. There is also a cooperative mode of passing on one screen. A classic arcade game released under DOS back in 1984. Since then, Xonix has received a lot of variations that differ primarily in design. The gameplay, with the exception of small details, has remained unchanged all this time. Sokoban. An exciting puzzle game in which you need to move the boxes around the maze so that in the end they all fall into the marked places. A great way to train your thinking and kill time. Again, the game is very old. The original was released back in 1982. Since then, Sokoban has received a lot of different variations in which only the visual style has changed, from childish motifs to all sorts of fantastic abstractions. Angry Birds. A popular mobile game, which in 2013 also appeared on the PC in the face of Angry Birds Space. Players will find over 300 unique levels on 10 different planets, bright animation, fun gameplay, and a funny setting in which angry birds wage a fierce war against pigs, shooting at them with a giant slingshot by their own brethren. Pinball Arcade. A favorite of office workers and single housewives from Farsight Studios, in which you need to earn points by manipulating the ball on a special playing field. Pinball Arcade is a virtual adaptation of pinball machines popular in the West in the 30s and 40s. However, in addition to Pinball Arcade, this worthy entertainment has a lot of other virtual simulators, not only on PC, but also on mobile devices. Overcooked. A fun game that will be equally interesting for both adults and children. The plot revolves around a team of resilient cooks who travel through the fabulous Onion Kingdom, cook unimaginably delicious dishes, and experience all sorts of breathtaking adventures. The game has support for co-op for 4 participants. Rayman Origins, a 2D platform game from the Rayman series in which you will learn the stories of the adventures of Rayman and Glowbox. According to the plot, the Meadow of Dreams has been captured by dark forces, and only the Radiant Hero, along with his friends, can save her. There are over 60 different levels to collect collectibles, find secrets and solve puzzles. The abilities of the heroes will help you overcome various obstacles. There are action elements. Sometimes friends will fight with enemies and bosses. Colorful, simple platformers will help you to relax properly. You can play alone or with friends on the same computer, up to 4 people. World of Goo. World of Goo is a logic puzzle game in which the gameplay is based on physical laws. The player is invited to go through numerous levels in which he needs to build a tower of various goo balls. There are several types, each with its own properties. Thus, you need to get to the pipe, which is the exit from the level. You can build not only towers, but also bridges and other structures. In total, the game has 4 chapters, an epilogue, and a bonus mission. Those balls that manage to escape from the level will be in the gamer's vault, where he can build the highest tower. A great, laid-back arcade game with unique gameplay that still hasn't been replicated anywhere else. Trine is a series of adventure platform games. The Valiant Team, the Wizard Amadeus, the Knight Pontius, the Thief Zoya will go on adventures in order to destroy evil. The player will either have to switch between the characters in the process of passing or invite friends to the cooperative mode. The essence of the game is simple. You need to go through linear levels, solving puzzles and fighting enemies. The puzzles in the game are built on the basis of physical laws and the interaction between characters. For example, Amadeus can move objects at a distance, and Pontius can destroy obstacles. Another great arcade game that is suitable for both solo play and playing with friends. Braid, a puzzle platformer based on the ability to control time. The plot is dedicated to the guy Tim, who, saving his beloved from monsters, went on a journey through 6 fantastic worlds. The hero has an amazing ability time management. He can reverse it and save his life if he is trapped. Each chapter is like a separate game with its own rules. The second world is an ordinary platform game. The 4th world completely depends on the position of Tim's body. If he moves to the right, then time goes forward, to the left, back. Thus, Braid constantly throws challenges to the gamer, which makes the game only more interesting. If your favorite game is not included in this list, write in the comments. Thanks for watching. Join this channel to get access to perks. Subscribe, watch our other videos, press thumbs up, turn on notifications, and you will always be aware of what to play today.